All right, the author of Surrendered Sleep has joined me, Dr. Charles Page. I am so glad to meet you. I've had your book here for several weeks.
Honored to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yes, from Texas.
From Nacogdoches, Texas,
If
yes.
you didn't know that, you listen to him talk a little bit, find out he's from Texas. I've been all over Texas. I've been in your area. Is that close to Lake Charles at all, Louisiana, around in there?
It's probably about 2 to 3 hours from Lake Charles. Yeah, but it's on the eastern side of Texas.
And I've been to the west many times, Midland, Odessa.
Right, Abilene,
big state.
those places, yeah.
Wonderful state.
Great state.
Wonderful state. I was telling the doctor earlier, I'm probably more of the Mary type personality than the Martha. Busy, 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 and I think maybe those kind of people have a little bit harder time sleeping. But I was looking, Doctor, Psalm 4, verse 8, I will lay down and sleep in peace. And Psalm 127, he gives sleep to those he loves, you know.
Right.
There's something so beautiful about that. And then I was thinking of Michael Jackson,
Right.
who had the world in his hand, basically.
Tragic.
Lost his life just wanting sleep.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad?
It is so sad, you know. But it's such a huge problem in our society. And I think Michael Jackson is just a reflection of what we're seeing, you know, across our society, you know. And it's interesting, all the things that Michael Jackson had, you know, the wealth, the fame, everything. And the one thing that he craved was a good night's sleep.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, you know, and you think about what Solomon said there in, you know, Ecclesiastes, that the abundance of a rich man permits him no sleep, you know, and just think of that, all the things in our society of the abundance that we have, and how those sometimes can be the things that rob us of sleep. Sometimes abundance of opportunities, abundance of maybe wealth and choices, and all those things that can race through our minds as we go to sleep. And it seems so much opposite of what Christ came. You know, God said, Jesus said in John 10:10, I've come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. So the abundance that Jesus offers us is so different sometimes than what the world offers. So, and that's the challenge, and that's what we're focusing on. My new phrase with this is seeking a spiritual awakening for sleep. So, and just how huge sleep is for us as believers.
Jesus could sleep in a really bad storm on a boat. You know, I heard one speaker say, if Jesus gets his pillow, you get yours, no matter how stormy your life can be. Now, was this book born because you had some sleep problems?
Well, you know, I've suffered from sleep issues, I guess, all my adult life. You know, first of all, as a doctor in residency and training, you know, there were days when I would go without any sleep at all. You know,
go over that a little bit. Why don't they change that? That's horrible to do to a young doctor.
Well, let me say this. There's good and bad about that. We don't necessarily need to take down a fence. You know, we have a saying in Texas, don't take down a fence until you know why it was put up in the first place. You know, I mean, there's reasons for that. I mean, and actually there's new studies that come out that show that there may be more potential complications if you have, you know, if your surgeon is sleep deprived, you know, and things like that. On the other hand, though, if I had my choice, I'd much rather have a surgeon who's been there and seen my pathology and kind of been through the whole process with me. There's a lot to be said for that. So medicine is really changing, as we were talking about, and a lot of that's becoming shift work type mentality. And so having someone that's going to be there when it's good and when it's bad, I think says a lot. So if I had my choice, I'd rather have a hard-working, sleep-deprived doctor than who's going to be there, you know. So, but we do see that there are some issues. I mean, and this is throughout our society. You know, even truck drivers. You know, they're having to keep logs now, and there's governmental regulations about how long they can work, and even we're going to see that with doctors and nurses and anesthesiologists. It's across the board.